Today, until vacuum do us part. Hello guys, and welcome back to Till Vacuum Do Us Part. We're jumping straight into today's video because this is a long one and we have some places we need to tackle. I'm going to be showing you areas that you need to be cleaning and how to clean them. So one of the first things I like to do with spring cleaning is to clean like behind and under furniture that I normally don't move. If it's like a lightweight basket, I'll move that occasionally and vacuum. But if it's a heavier piece or it has decor on it, I'm really bad about taking the time to clean underneath it. So baseboards get really dirty. Plus with like George and my dogs, I feel like fur just like hovers underneath it. So that's what we're gonna be working on first today. It feels really good to have this space done. I've been staring at this space for so long with no motivation to clean it, so I knew that was one of the places I needed to add to my spring cleaning list. If you have any areas like that, this is the time to get it done. Another area I wanted to work on, or actually under, is the dresser in our master bedroom. It gets so dusty under there, and once again, there's a lot of fur, so I'm gonna pull in Chase just to kind of help me with this one so he can help me move out the dresser, and I can work on just getting all of this dust and pollen and fur removed so we can actually sleep better, because this is probably killing our allergies. Okay, now as I get started cleaning my baseboards and just all of these cords under here, I do want to thank Jaws for sponsoring this part of today's video. You guys know I love this company. I talk about them all the time. Jaws stands for Just Add Water System. So what that means is when they're shipping you your product, they're not wasting a ton of money with shipping water. They ship you the bottle and then the pod refills. That also makes it super easy to store. You don't have to buy up a ton of bottles if you like keeping extra. You can just buy these little pod refills. So easy to store. They're super cute in drawers. Another reason I love them is it cuts back on plastic waste. So you just keep reusing that same bottle. There's no reason to keep trading them out for new ones. It works, it's clean. So I love that about Jaws. They're also non-toxic, eco-friendly, and pet safe, which is huge in my home because we have George and Tiger. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you step by step how you do the refill when you get your bottles for the first time, or if you've gone through the bottle and you need to add more to it. This is how it's done. It is so satisfying to do. I actually love when I run out of their product. I do have a coupon code that you can use at checkout. If you use Ashley25, you're going to get 25% off your order, and I will attach that link down below in my description box. But I do want to break it down for you. If you were to buy one bottle, it comes with 2 pods and it's $6.99. But if you apply my 25% off, that makes it $5.25. But you get 2 refills, so that actually makes it $2.62 per bottle. So I feel like that's a great deal. But even if you want a better deal, I highly suggest getting the Ultimate Cleaning Kit. You get 6 bottles, 12 pod refills, 7 matching cleaning cloths, and it's originally $45. But after my code, Ashley25, it's gonna break it down to $33.75, which makes each piece $1.35 because you're getting so much in it. So I highly suggest that, but if you just want to dip your toes in and get one bottle, that works out too. I love the granite, and I also love the all-purpose cleaner if you just want to get one before you get started, but if you want the best deal, definitely check into that ultimate cleaning kit. So thanks again to Jaws for sponsoring that part of today's video. Now we're going to move on into the kitchen, and I wanted to work on our coffee maker. I know a lot of us own this. We may not clean them as often. I don't personally drink coffee, so I hadn't noticed how bad the inside had gotten. Like when I walked past, I noticed the white was getting dirty from like coffee like splashing up, but when I started taking it apart, I realized how gross it was. So I'm going to show you right here how I'm going to clean it. I'm still going to be using those Jaws cleaners as well, and these are safe for you to use. They're non-toxic, but they still work incredibly well. So I'm going to show you this like dried up coffee that's been in here for who knows how long. I'm just using the kitchen cleaner because it's like a degreaser. It works so well. I use it on my stove a lot because I don't clean that space often either, and it also just lifts it really, really well. Something else you could use is the all-purpose cleaner, and I'm going to use that on like the outside of the coffee pot just so you can see how it works as well too. I am honestly so shocked at how dirty this machine was. So right now we're working on the outside. If you hang tight just a little bit, I'm going to tell you and show you how to clean the inside, so definitely stay tuned for that. But if you haven't taken your coffee pot apart in a while, I highly suggest checking on it today because it probably needs to be cleaned as well. So now that I have all those pieces clean, I'm going to put them back together, and now I'm going to move on to cleaning the inside of my machine. So I grabbed these Quick and Clean. I think I've had them a couple years now from Amazon. I can link them down below in the description box for you, but it's an easy way to clean the inside part of your coffee maker because it's just like running a cup of coffee. So you're going to put it in just like you would if you're going to run a cup of coffee. You're going to be able to see how dirty it is as it runs out. I'm going to show that to you. And then just a quick tip, I'm going to show this process too, but go ahead and run it again with nothing in it, just so it gets kind of flushed out with just water. We were young and drunk in love. A few years later I have started thinking if it's just love. These little cleaning pods do come with instructions, but it says to run it on like a large cup, so that's why I selected that one. And then you can see as the water's coming out, it's pretty clear, but if you actually look inside the cup, it is disgusting to think a lot of that was going into the coffee Chase was drinking. So I'm so relieved to get this cleaned. I should actually add this to more of like a monthly cleaning routine, or like a couple times a year, maybe more than just once a year, but at least it's clean. It's easy to do. Like I said, now I'm just going to pull out that pod and just leave the water in it and run it that way again on another large cup of coffee. But we were young and unaware. Oh, I got you. There's no reason to chasing payment on my own, 'cause you're here. Now that water looks a lot better to me. I can actually sleep at night not worrying what Chase and Savannah are drinking. So now that all of that's done, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the coffee maker bag, probably wipe down the cabinet, and then everything is good to go over here, and we'll be moving on to the next task of the day.
I'm just fine 'cause I got you. Rain got in my way before, pouring like a waterfall. I've cried a million tears and more to find out where I belong.
It always feels so good to start marking things off your spring cleaning list. It's stuff you've been putting off for a while, you haven't wanted to do, or you just wait to do it once a year. It just feels so rewarding to like cross it off or use a highlighter, mark it off. But now we're gonna move on to the next task. You could either use the Jaws hardwood cleaner or like their multi-purpose cleaner, but I'm gonna be cleaning the front and the backs of my doors. So occasionally I'll wipe down like our pantry door or the bathroom doors if they get dirty, but I rarely go through my house and clean the front and the back, especially like doors that are exterior doors that lead to the outside. I really needed to work on spaces like that, especially like in my mudroom garage area. So just taking the time to do this is really helpful. I feel like dirt shows up really well on white doors, but once again, even if you have black doors or wood doors, just because you can't see the dirt doesn't mean it's not there. So go ahead and clean it so they're just nice and clean for the springtime. Not all spring cleaning projects are hard, but I feel like some are very time consuming, and that's how it was with these doors. It was really easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time and effort to go through your entire house and work on them. But I also wanted to let you guys know that my next video after this is doing an accent wall right here in my front entryway, and it is super affordable to do, did not take long at all, and it is huge the difference it makes. So if you want to see how that area turns out, definitely make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell and click all notifications so YouTube will let you know every time I post a video, because I have a lot of home projects coming up. I feel like the warmer weather just like gets me motivated to start working on my house, especially once it's like decluttered and organized and spring clean. I'm ready to do some projects, so definitely make sure you're subscribed. Okay, so I can mark that off my list. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little exhausting. You can even count that one as a workout because I feel like you have to do squats the whole time. You're like lowering yourself to clean it. So definitely mark that off your list as well. Now we're gonna head into our like laundry room, mudroom area, and I'm gonna work on cleaning our washer and dryer. So we recently had to get a new set because ours broke when we were doing a lot of washing for an Airbnb that we had, and it has just gotten really dirty, and I told myself I was not going to get it like this. So once a year, if not more often, I like to do a deep clean on the washer and dryer. So that's what we're going to do today. But the first one we're going to start with is the dryer, because I feel like it's most important. This isn't an area you just should clean. It's something you need to clean. I've had multiple sorority sisters lose their houses to house fires because of their dryers. So we have to be really, really good about cleaning out dryer lint, and I have an easy system to do it. You can buy this little gadget off Amazon. I'll link it for you. It is so easy to use. You just hook it up to any vacuum, and it's going to get out all the lint that falls down that you can't just get by yourself. I will say I used this last year on my like used dryer, and it got so much out. I was even shocked how much it got out this year because, like I said, this is a new dryer and I clean out the lint every single time I do a load. So if you want to see how much I still get out, you're going to be shocked.
At the edge, we should break it. You keep on coming back. back for more. I've been waiting here before. It is not the first time. Thinking that you'll come around.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm just basically like shoving it down in between that crack where some of the lint can fall that you can't reach. I will say if you have a ton of lint down there like I did last year, sometimes that tube gets so clogged you need to just kind of clean off the tip of it so it can keep sucking it up. I was so shocked and almost embarrassed with the amount I had last year. I just couldn't believe that much had gotten stuck in there. But like I said, I had had that washer and dryer for a long time and it was used or pre-owned before we had bought it. So definitely take the time to do that. Another smart thing you can do is actually clean the dryer like vent itself. Just taking some like warm water and dish soap, it'll clean it right up. Your dryer is going to dry so much faster and function so much better. And in return, it's going to last longer so you don't have to replace them as often. So I know some people look at cleaning as just like a chore, and if you want to do it, do it. I don't look at it that way. If you want your things to last longer, you have to take care of them. So spend some time spring cleaning so our things look nicer, but they also last longer.
It is not the first time. Thinking that you'll come around.
Just a little tip, no matter what you're cleaning, most of the time it's going to come apart to make it easier to clean. So just kind of remember what you're doing so you can put it back together. But I just wanted to point that out because things can be really hard to clean if you don't know things like pop off or twist off. So if you're cleaning anything, just kind of look for it, see if you can get it to lift or spin off because it does make it easier. Typically you can like take it to your sink and work on it and you're not stuck just working in like small areas and creases. Now that I've got all the insides clean of the washer and dryer, I'm just cleaning the outside. These do get really dusty because this is where we leave and enter our house. It's the mud room, and plus they're a darker color since they're gray. They tend to show a little bit more dust, so I'm just gonna wipe them down real quick. Also, just a little tip too, if you do decide to clean out your dryer vent and it's wet, be sure to put it outside and make sure it's super dry before you put it back in your dryer. You never want to put it in there wet, so just keep that little tip in mind. I never enjoy cleaning the washer and dryer, but it always feels so good to have it done. And it's just nice to have clean items that clean things. So like the dishwasher, it's nice to have a clean dishwasher that cleans your dishes that you eat off of. It's nice to have a clean washer and dryer that you're cleaning your clothes in so they stay nice and clean and you know everything's functioning really well. It's gonna last a long time and then you don't have to worry about any other issues. Now we're going to be working on like baseboards and crown molding. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do a deeper clean. So sometimes I actually get on the ground with like a cleaning cloth and a cleaner and wipe them. They weren't too bad this year, and I just was not in the mood to crawl around on my knees for some reason. Maybe I'll do it in another video just so I can mark it off the list, but for today, I just wanted to get a lot of the dust off, so I just grabbed my vacuum, a long attachment, so I can just stand up and walk around. I can reach everything on the floor. I can reach it way up high on like window trim and crown molding, and for me, this worked. It got all that dust, if there was any cobwebs, and it was just much easier to do. Another good area to clean during spring cleaning is your air vents. This is also a reminder to switch yours out as well. We have like a service, so we switch ours out monthly. So it's already been taken care of, but if you haven't switched yours out in a while, this is your reminder. And then also vacuum it as well. I always forget that they're pretty easy to clean. In my head, I look up and I'm like, I do not want to clean that today. But with my vacuum attachment, I don't know if you can tell, it's just sucking it right up. Like it's loose dust, so it's not like stuck on there. I just need to remember to grab my vacuum and clean it off a little more than once a year.
One step away from caving in.
Cleaning your air vents and replacing your filter is something you need to do. You need to do often. It's better on your cooling units. So just keep that in mind. Not all things are like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. There's some areas in your house you really want to focus on because you don't want to have to replace a whole AC unit sooner than you need to. So just by like taking care of it monthly or, you know, every 3 months really does make your things function and last longer. And that's what we're all about here, is spending a little bit as we go versus like this huge amount. Not that if you live in your house a really long time, you'll have to replace things, but if you can just get them to last longer, that's always best. Now I'm gonna head into the bathrooms, and we have some of these like vents in here as well, and they have lights on them, and it looked like there were like bugs in them. Once I took it down, it really wasn't too bad, but when I turned on the light, it made them look way bigger than what it was, and I was sick of seeing that. It was like speckled. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those down. I had 3 in my house. I didn't show myself going into Savannah's bathroom, but I did her bathroom as well. So anytime I'm dealing with like bugs or cleaning items in the bathroom like a toilet, I don't use cleaning cloths. You can if you want to, I just don't. So you're gonna see me pull out some paper towels, and I just wanted to explain why I was pulling those out.
When you're out with all the wild roads, and you're looking for a way back home, I'll be like that only you can see. You can see. I'll be here when things go south. We can take our time just to figure it out. Oh, I'll be here when all gets lost. We can count on hope when there's rivers to cross. Oh, and I know our lives will always change.
So sometimes when you're doing cleaning, it's not all that bad, and to me that's the point. I don't want to wait until these lights are like overflowing with bugs and dirt and it makes it harder to clean. I want to clean it before it gets to that point. So I know we're all different and we clean things different, but if you're seeing something and you're like, Ashley, that didn't really need it yet, to me it did. So if I can prevent a lot of buildup, that's what I want to do. The next area we're going to talk about are like your toilet caps. So I didn't know if you were aware, but these lift up and you can actually clean underneath them. Some are worse than others. I'll show you. I checked the other bathrooms and they weren't that bad, but definitely just lift up on those because they can get really dirty.
You got my love, don't let it go.
reflecting in your deep blue eyes. The day has begun. You spin around, you laugh to yourself.
Okay guys, now we're headed on to the next task, and this one's going to blow your mind because it blew my mind. So I don't like pulling appliances out, especially like my refrigerator. There's not much room because where my island sits, I can't really get back behind it. If you have like laminate or wood floors, it can scratch them. I know occasionally you have to do those deep cleans, but I found this little gadget that will literally fit in any crease because it's so narrow, and you just slide it under, and I was shocked at the things I was finding underneath my stove. And then wait and see what I find under my refrigerator here in a second. Okay guys, I am super impressed by this one. I stuck it underneath here, and you can just see first off how dirty and dusty it was, and I never even had to move this because this extends out and I could feel that I was touching the back wall. But I had broke something in here a long time ago, and all the glass went underneath there, and I had no idea. That is amazing.
You sing la 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 la. My God, I think I might be in love. Get rid of all your sorrows in the summer city. You'll never feel alone as long as you're with me. Get rid of all your sorrows in the summer city. There's no place on.
Okay, so I just did a swipe underneath the refrigerator. I don't know what's more shocking, all of the glass that was still underneath there that I didn't see, or all of this nastiness. OMG.
Get rid of all your sorrows in the summer city. You'll never feel alone as long as you're with me. Get rid of all your sorrows.
I was shocked. The more that I was putting it underneath the refrigerator, the more glass that was coming out.
Rather be.
Another good tip is you have a vent underneath your refrigerator. Definitely clean that out as well. It's just like a filter with anything else. If it gets clogged, it's gonna be harder for the appliance to run, which means you're gonna have more issues. It's gonna cost you more energy wise, and it's probably not going to last as long. So just taking a few moments and vacuuming all that out, it's just gonna function a lot better.
I feel it's some kind of wonderful, some kind of magical woman. My love's for real. I need to show you right now. Take a look at me now. I can't.
I had no idea when I was going to be using this tool how much I was going to be finding under these appliances, but I'm just so thankful because it was so easy to do. And like I said, I didn't have to pull out any appliance. I didn't have to unhook it. Those things are super heavy, so I'm going to be using this tool way more often because it was so easy to do. And once again, I'm so glad I didn't have to actually like pull anything out.
Now you're here with me, and we're walking on cloud nine. Yeah, we're walking.
Once I found out how much was under my kitchen appliances, I did decide to take this into my laundry room. I will say my laundry room wasn't near as bad. My kitchen was terrible, and just a little reminder, like, we haven't lived here all that long, and all that dust had already ended up underneath there. I know the glass was from a break from me. Now, I will say the one time I broke something, I cleaned a ton up. It's in my head a little bit, like, did Savannah and Chase break something when I was gone and I didn't know it? Because that was a lot of glass.
Magical woman, my love's for real. I need to show you right now. Take a look at me now. I can't explain for the life of me what you did to me when I met you last summer.
now that I've been pulling out all of this dust from underneath appliances, I'm just going to grab my vacuum just real quickly and go over the floors in my laundry room. And then I wanted to take it into my kitchen as well. It scared me with all of that glass, and we walk around barefoot a lot, plus we have George and Tiger. So I think I swept all of it up, but I do like to take a vacuum over it just one more time to make sure there's no tiny pieces that I'm missing. Next up, we're going to be cleaning windows. I clean my windows every time it's spring cleaning, especially now in this new house. We have a ton of construction going on around us, so I cannot keep them clean to save my life. And so I just wanted to do another deeper clean as well. I feel like in the spring we open up our blinds and curtains more, and the last thing you want is like a dirty window. You want it to just be like you're looking straight outdoors, or I do anyways. Plus, I always share my tips on how to clean the inside of your window, and I always have new people here every single year, so I wanted to show you that it's so easy to do. On this particular window, I'm so glad I did. I opened it up, and there was tons of concrete stuck to the window from when we extended our patio, so let's get that clean.
You better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop. If I should fall, just go ahead. Go and catch me, baby.
Okay, so if you don't know how to open up your window so you can clean the outside of it, if you have like a screen there, all you have to do is unlock it. This is how mine unlocks from the inside of my house. And then we have these little lever tabs on each corner, and all you do is press those in and it will come towards you. So I've noticed if I open the window a little bit, it works better. So just unlock it, raise the window, and then press those two levers in on the side, and it'll open up towards you, and then you can clean it, and it gets nice and clean, and you don't have to worry about removing the screen on the outside. So this is another one of those chores or spring cleaning tasks that isn't that hard. It's just time consuming. We have so many windows in our house, and so it's just going from space to get them done. Obviously, I'm not going to show you every window I cleaned in this house, but I did want to show you a few so you could just see the process and how I do it.
We may be forced to cause a scene, make some trouble, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my true love, true love.
One of the tasks that I dread most is dusting lights. I'm just not a good duster in general, much less lights, like crawling up on things. It's funny, even when we were designing this house, I was picking lights that didn't have glass in them. If you notice, my pendant lights don't even have glass in them. I just wanted to keep it super simple and easy. So all of these don't take long to dust, especially since there's not glass on them, but it's still just a task that I dread doing, so it always goes on the spring cleaning list. Now the best part is when you're finished spring cleaning, go light a candle, take a bath, kick off your shoes. What I like to do is just flat out relax. So you're gonna see me just like fall and relax on the sofa for a little bit. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you got some motivation. And I do want to thank Jaws again for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget, I have their link down below in my description box, and you can use the code Ashley25 for 25% off your order. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.